Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ring Ready Live, the home of the owner handler, brought to you by Showsite Magazine. I'm Dan Sayers with Showsite here, as always, with Lee Whittier, the dog show mentor. And Lee, before we get started today's show, I would like to thank you for last night's master class. It truly was masterful, and I'm hoping that before we get started, you can just share a few thoughts on our class last night.
I sure would. And we had a great turnout, and lots of people were really engaged. And I felt like people were taking the material that I was presenting and really using it in a meaningful way for their own presentations and their own use. And so that's the key is that I wasn't just feeding people information and a one-way street and just throwing it at the wall and see what stuck. Actually, we were stopping and pausing and thinking and applying the bits and pieces to come out with a whole blueprint for your dog, your own blueprint. What did you think, Dan? What did you come away with? You were there.
Oh, I thought it was terrific. I thought that the chemistry between all the participants was wonderful. I love how you managed the topic point by point and you encourage participation. And, I was thinking that back when I was in college, there were some classes that I just couldn't wait to get out of. And then there were others where I knew it was going to be participatory and that I was going to walk away with knowledge and motivation to apply what I've learned in my life. And Dog Show Mentor Masterclass is that sort of experience. And it was fun, it was engaging, and just when I thought I knew everything, somebody gave us all a tip, and I thought, I never thought about it that way. I'm going to have to try that with my puppy. And in fact, I have already. So it was a wonderful time. I know that there's two more classes, Lee, in October. I want to encourage everybody who perhaps wasn't on the call last night to consider those two classes. And maybe now would be a good time to just remind everyone about the classes that are remaining.
Right. So, the next class, we're going to talk about ring nerves and um, how that affects your dog, how it affects how you show up in the ring, and how when you change your mindset, we can shift that so that you have a better experience. Your dog has a better experience, and the judge has a better experience of
Mhm.
you. And in the final class, we're going to bring it all together. We're going to bring that blueprint for your dog. We're going to bring how you present without those ring nerves and create that presentation. So, yeah, you can get it on the last two classes now. We're going to put the link in the chat later on.
Terrific. I encourage everyone to join you, Lee, for those classes. And speaking of, we've got a few people joining us today. Carrie, Tamara, and Jenna is here as always. Some of you were on the call last night. You were in class, and I see that you too felt that it was a great experience. So we're happy to have you here at Ring Ready Live. And Lee and I were talking the other day that when Showsite and Dog Show Mentor developed Ring Ready and Ring Ready Live, we decided to call it the home of the owner handler. So just a reminder, Lee, to everyone, this is your home. You are always welcome. And Ring Ready Live, which you attend every Wednesday at 3 p.m., thank you very much, is sort of like the foyer or the entry hall to the home. It's really just the beginning. But the home of the owner handler is infinite. There's plenty of room for everyone. So please be sure to encourage your friends to join us. We will be happy to welcome them and have them join in the conversation. And we'd love to meet them in person, as we are looking forward to meeting some of you in person as well. So again, this is your home, and we want to thank you for being a part of our growing family. Lee, any thoughts on the home of the owner handler?
Well, yes. So, it, invite your friends for sure. But what I wanted to address today, and Dan and I were totally on board with this together, is talking about the power of when you have a budget, right? So when you have a budget for your dog show, then you really have more power on where you want to put your dollars and where they're going to work best for your dog. So I always recommend that in order to reach your goals, your dog showing goals, right? This is your hobby, but you want to be successful in it. So in order to reach those goals, it's really important to know where you're going and whether you can afford to go, right? So sometimes you might fly. We talked about this last week. Do you have the budget for that? What are you going to do if your dog gets sick? So this is what we're going to talk about today. But let's say hello to a couple people from in the chat. Hi, Lynn from Florida, from the Florida Keys. Hi, Carolyn from Pennsylvania. I don't know why I can't hear you anymore. You can't hear me? Is anyone else having that problem? Shelly has Manchester's from Northern California. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, excellent class last night. Thank you. Sandy, hi. Hello from Western Oregon with the Senjis. Tamara, Spanish Water Dogs. Hello again. Jenna, hi. And Glenda from Michigan. So we've got people who have been here before during Dysart. I recognize that name. Lynn says she can hear me. Jenna would love to chat. Okay, cool. All right.
So today's topic, which you alluded to, is budget. How much are we spending on our dog showing, and where might we be allocating some of our funds in a better way that helps us achieve our goals? So I want to invite everyone in the chat, in the comments section, let us know what you think are the 3 areas in which you spend your money showing your dog. So number 1, number 2, number 3. What do you think are the places where your money's going? Lee, I know that you have received a summary of a study that the AKC conducted based on an online survey, and there were more than 14,000 responses, and the AKC has published the results. So maybe you could speak a little bit to that, but also let's hold off on announcing the top 3 until we get some responses.
So Megan says money spent strategically advertising can be really wise investment. And she's right. And we're going to address that as being a strategic and important part of celebrating your wins. Travel. Cindy says travel. No majors within several hours. Beth says national specialty. Lisa says hotel, entry fees, and food. Tamara says travel, vet, and wardrobe. Wardrobe. There you go. Nikki says handlers, advertising, and hotels. Okay. Beth says hotel, gas cost, time off of work, and entries. Okay. Lee, entries, hotel, and gas. Well, okay.
I'm seeing a lot of similar guesses. Travel, entries, wardrobe is here again. Classes, continuing education is something that we should all be budgeting for. I like the comment about time off work, Beth. There is a dollar value to the time that we all take off from our weekday jobs. RV and hotel costs, yes.
So it's really interesting. AKC's study broke it down a little bit more, and that was because the people who responded to the survey, and it was it 84,000 people? Is that the right number?
84,000 people
That's
received the
incredible.
survey, but 14,000 responded.
Okay, so still 14,000 people, that's a lot of people. So that should tell you that it wasn't just owner handlers, it wasn't just handlers, it was a mix. And it was probably a representative sample. But shall we start, Dan? Drum
Let,
roll, please.
let's go with number one, Lee. You have
Okay, the number one expense was lodging. $209 every weekend. Every weekend. So did you know that you were spending that?
Yes. Does that surprise anyone? I know it
Yep.
didn't.
Yep. Okay. Drum roll, please. Number two. This is a surprise to me. Vehicle rental. $197.
I was wondering, Lee, when I saw that figure, I was wondering, some folks rent RVs, they can be delivered to
Yeah.
a show site. And I thought, well, maybe that's why that figure is so high, because it would be similar to the lodging expenses or replace the lodging expenses. But, be that as it may, we're all spending a great deal of our investment on lodging and getting to the shows and getting back home safely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've noticed that in terms of lodging, I was just looking for a room closer to the airport, and it was astonishing to me the cost of it, and the cost of it to stay with a dog.
Yes.
The hotels are charging exorbitant fees for one pet for one night. So it is, the costs are going up. RVs on my wish list. Oh, all of us.
Megan
All of us.
mentioned that not all lodging has to be your biggest expense. If you travel with your show tribe, you can really manage that cost. And that is certainly true, Megan. Thank you for mentioning that.
Linda says, honestly, I am terrible with dog budget. I go all in as long as my bank account allows. I need to work on that. Motorhome, gas, entries, food, dog, and humans. I think that's food for dogs and humans. Okay.
Linda, thank you for being brave and admitting that budgets may not be your strong suit. You're not alone in that. A lot of us avoid creating a budget because we don't want to know. But really, Lee, I'm sure you can back me up on this. A budget is one of your most useful tools.
It is.
You got a finite amount of money, but where does it go? That's really important to know.
Right. And so you have household bills, and someone makes a budget for that. Someone says, okay, well, I know I'm going to have $150 on cell phone, and I'm going to have $200 on trash, and I'm going to have this much on rent or mortgage. And so when we have that budget, we're able to really say, okay, I know that I can show every weekend for 4 months in my local area when I can go back and forth to home. But I also have enough money in my budget to go to that extra special show that I really want to go to, that specialty, that supported entry, right? And I don't have to starve myself to do that. I don't have to create bad credit in order to do that. And we don't want that for people. We want people to show within their budget, and also to create a budget so that the really important things get addressed. Like Megan said, a strategy for creating that. What about? I mean, I'm going to blow my horn. What about Dog Show Mentor? I can help you create a system for how you decide which shows you're going to go to. I can talk it out with you. And so all that is available when you have a coach. And when you have a coach, you win more. And if you finish dogs faster, you spend less money, right? And then you have more money to spend on things like advertising your wins, And it's a cycle. So the next one is also a surprise. Veterinary services. What's the number on that, Dan?
The number on that is $153 for a show weekend. That's what the average exhibitor is spending on veterinary services. Does that surprise anyone? I saw only one person mention veterinary as a top three expense. So whoever said that, well done. But that's a good sum of money, I would say.
I think it is, and it could be sometimes dogs are sick at the show, but sometimes it could be something other, an injury, for example, chiropractic.
Yes.
Maybe they get their X-rays at a show. Maybe there's a show veterinarian that they use regularly. Maybe it's eye exams. We don't know what that number includes, but veterinary services. Elizabeth says, we finally invested in an RV. Not only am I not having to find a hotel, which are not easy, I am thoroughly enjoying being in the company of the dog show people the whole weekend rather than show and leave the grounds for the hotel. That's well said. And it does speak to the community that we have. And it's interesting, we have communities within communities. So we have people, like you said, who stay at the showgrounds, and we have the people who hotel it. And which group are you in?
Some folks mentioned Airbnbs as well. So if you've got a group of people, you can really save money that way. I want to thank Tamara. She says that there's an expense for medications for travel. And Cindy says health testing at shows. That's
Right.
great. That's offered more and more, isn't it? Certain shots for traveling as well.
And I love that Sandy says I put money into a savings account every paycheck for the national fund. Good for you.
Mm,
You go, girl. I like that.
that's a
All
wise
right.
investment, Sandy.
I know. And the next one everybody sort of guessed was fuel. And what's the number on that one, Dan?
You're about $128.
Woohoo. People
Yeah.
are going. They are traveling. And you're going far if you're spending $128 on gas. For me, if I take an SUV, it's $75 to fill up. And a full tank of gas will take me about 4 hours.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that would be that number.
there you go. There's tolls as well. Some folks live in states and travel through states where tolls can get very, very expensive. I know that if you cross Pennsylvania one way, you're probably needing to budget $60 or so just to drive the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So that's also an expense for many of us. Um,
Karen says hotels have been gone up $30 to $50. That's right. And average pet fee has been $20. Karen, I just want to tell you that the hotels that I checked at were either $50 or $100 for the pet, for one pet under 40 pounds.
Somebody commented earlier, Lee, that $200 for a hotel in Dallas, and
Yes,
it's non-refundable.
right.
So, hotels are trying to recover from COVID, and as are the airlines, and there are a lot of added fees. If you receive a premium list that says that dogs are allowed in a hotel, please call and verify that. I've experienced cases where that was not true. And also, you want to call and get that fee verified. Is that $20
Right.
fee per dog per night or what? That's going to help you budget for that weekend, certainly. No.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a line item here called other vehicle expenses, and I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's a per mile thing that people have put in. What do you think that is, Dan?
Well, that may be the tolls that I was mentioning. It may also be, I've yet to meet someone who has an RV at shows who hasn't had a breakdown one or 100 times coming to and from a show. Those repairs get awfully expensive as well. Um, yeah, just basic vehicle maintenance is
Like
certainly,
oil changes and things
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
I mean, we all put a lot of miles on our vehicles each and every year.
Sure do. Yeah, Tamara says tires or oil. And food and beverage is a little bit, what's the number on that, Dan?
That is $121 per
So what
person.
we hope, and I know Dan, you support me on this, what we hope is that you are eating healthfully while on the road and not eating just cheap junk food. And so I happen to know people who have their own mini fridge. It's a portable mini fridge that they plug it in at the show site, and then they take it to their room and they plug it in the room, or they just leave it at the show site if they have a fridge in their room, and they bring all their own food. And it has a double kind of plug that you can put in your vehicle or in a regular outlet. So that's one way to eat healthfully. What are some other ways that people have to maintain good health and energy? Because when you eat healthfully, you have more energy than when you eat Big Macs.
And when you
Oh,
have more energy, you're more available to your dog because your dog is eating a wonderfully balanced diet, I'm sure, and you're more of a team. You're going to be more successful by what you eat. And I agree. Stay away from those easy to find drive-throughs. That should be a treat after you've won something. A treat for you and your dog.
right. And I'm with Elizabeth. I take vitamins too, and a lot of them. All right. That's probably why I'm always moving around.
Yeah.
um,
What do we have next, Lee? After food and beverage.
it's called apparel and gifts.
Hmm.
And I'm surprised at the gifts. I wonder who the gifts are for. Or maybe they're buying gifts there for someone at home. Apparel is like what to wear. So what's that number?
That number for those combined is $69
That's
each.
not bad.
Yeah,
But every week, I'm wondering, so add that up for the year. Who can do that arithmetic? What is that per year for apparel
I think
and
that's
gifts?
$840 or thereabouts, a little less.
Okay, I mean it's not cheap, but it's not outrageous.
Yeah, it's always nice to buy a gift. If it's in your budget, you're going to make somebody very, very happy with your gift giving, no doubt.
Jenna says she's bringing gifts for my breed ring entries at Mars and Essex and have for the shows where we build majors. Breed ring entries.
I,
Hmm.
I suppose she's not referring to trophies. Sometimes everybody who enters leaves a ring with a little trinket. Maybe that's the
Well,
sort
I
of.
want to be friends with Jenna.
I've met Jenna. She's lovely, and she would love to be your friend. No, let me know if I'm speaking out of turn here on your behalf.
Okay. Karen says it's almost my pantyhose budget. I know, right? Um, there's a really good kind of hose, though, and I'm not going to say what it is here, but you have to join Dog Show Mentor to find out that secret.
Ray
Oh,
mentions dry cleaning could be part of the apparel expense, but Ray, there's actually a line item for laundry and dry cleaning,
yeah,
and
we're
and
getting to that.
yeah. So what do we have after apparel and gifts,
Pet
Lee?
items. I wonder what that could be. you know,
Anything and everything, I'm
well,
sure.
we haven't talked yet about gear, about your leads and collars, and so I'm assuming that pet items is dog beds and toys and ropes, and I mean, is pet items your gear? I mean, there's not even a line item for gear in this, is there?
No, there's a line item for other purchases, but I'd be surprised that, yeah, leads and such would be in that category.
Hmm. Well, so that's what pet items is. How much, Dan?
The pet items are $68 total, so just
Yeah.
a dollar less than your apparel and gifts. Combined, you're spending $1,600 every year on those.
Mhm.
Uh, that's a big figure when you really think
I mean,
about
you could start out with this chart that I have, and you could start out with that and just make that your budget for the first year and see where you are in that. Make those your line items and make it up as you go for the first year. You may not be able to project if you haven't been keeping track. Sometimes our credit cards allow us to um, itemize our purchases and put them in categories. And then
it.
at the end of the year, they send you here's how you spent your money.
A summary that I didn't know that would be useful to get that at the end of every year.
Yep. Yep. My cards allow for that. For the record, $68 is way low for crazy Doberman owners. Yeah. I think so too, Linda. I think it's low for everybody, but entertainment is the next item. I'm not sure what entertainment is, but maybe people go to the movies. Is that eating out at restaurants? I don't know. What do you think entertainment is?
I have no idea because if you can find time to go see a movie on a show weekend, I'd like to meet you.
Well,
Uh,
I never leave my dogs. I don't
never,
leave them in the
never.
hotel. I don't leave them in the car.
No, $55 is the amount that the average person spends on entertainment. I don't know if there could be eating out or maybe cocktails, so that wouldn't really be dining. Maybe people occasionally get together at a brew pub, as I did a couple months ago. I recommend that. It's really a great way to just be together and yeah, just meet some new people. We should do that sort of thing more often.
Yeah. I mean, Julie says out to dinner to celebrate a great win. Yes. Well, okay. You could do that. Dog shows are my entertainment. Of course they are. Of
Of
course
course
they
they
are. Okay. Now, laundry and dry cleaning is surprisingly low. I could tell you that my dry cleaning bill every week is more than $30.
$30 is what the average person is spending living.
So obviously, a lot of people don't buy dry cleaning type clothes. They wash. So maybe they're, I don't know. I don't know how you add your detergent and keep it separate from your sheets and towels, but I'm thinking that's more dry cleaning, and it's just people don't wear dry clean clothes anymore. Do you? Do
I,
you, folks? Okay. Jeannie says, unsure. I really want to know what I spend per show since I enter 5 to 6 IWs at some all breed shows, but all specialties. Between entry fees and just the logistics of traveling with all of them. Sure thing. Add it up and then figure out how you want to put that, where you really want to put that money. What if you had such a great win rate because you're a member of Dog Show Mentor? What if you had such a great win rate that you went to, say, two weekends a month instead of 4 weekends in a month, still got the amount of points that you wanted, and then were able to spend that on something else for your dog, including celebrating your wins by sharing them with people who you know and love, sometimes in an ad in Showsite magazine. Um, and that brings us to where Megan's going to be this weekend.
yes, Megan is going to be up at Wine Country in Romulus, New York. She may already be there or she may be en route. But if you are in Romulus, New York, in the beautiful Finger Lakes region of that state, I understand the weather is going to be flawless. And we wish all of you there the best of luck and a wonderful time spending together
Absolutely.
with your dogs. And if you have time, head on over to the Abethan and Hound Ring each and every day. You will find Megan or she will find you. Megan is your client relations manager. She's always happy to talk to you about your dogs, and she's always at the ready to help you celebrate your wins in Showsite magazine. And I was just thinking, Lee, that if we budgeted or if we took a hard look at all the money we spend on fast food throughout the year, I'm sure we could take that same figure and celebrate our dog's win in Ring Ready. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question. That's really where I find a lot of our money goes. It sort of evaporates in hot oil for those French fries that we all crave. But there's a way to budget for those wins to advertise them, and we've got a line item for publications, Lee, and
I know. I think that's awesome. I don't. I hope that you're subscribing to ShowSite.
I hope you are as well. And you can always find the digital version online, and I'm sure that it's sent to you by email. You can
If
always
it
join.
isn't, you can have it sent to you. Just go to showsitemagazine.com. What is the line item for that? What is the number on that, Dan?
$24. So
Every week they
every week.
spend $24.
So the average exhibitor is spending $100 or less each month on publications, and maybe
That's
that is
good.
part of the subscription cost. But some of us may pick up. Obviously, there are complimentary copies of ShowSite available at most shows nationwide, and there, of course, are other publications as well. Interesting. There is a fee for parking. Not all parking is free, so that figure is $24 as well. So think about it. You're spending $24 to have your car sit, which of course you need to do or you're not getting into the
That's
facility.
right. Yeah.
But that same budget is also for publications as well. I just found that kind of interesting. And
And it's important to stay connected with the community. And sometimes we do that when we do stay home from shows by reading and learning more and educating yourself about dogs and dog shows and what's going on and who's who is essential. It's essential to being part of the community. Ray says he pays $5 per show for parking. And you know what? When I go to the Portland Expo Center, it's $8 a day for 4 days. I mean, it's
yeah,
$40 right there.
yeah. And if I may speak on behalf of the folks who collect that money in the parking lot, as often as not, they are club members. They are volunteers.
Yeah.
They are spending their day on their feet or maybe in a golf cart, but they are out there all day of the weekend, and they are taking their time to allow you to come and show your dog and have a wonderful experience and hopefully go home a winner. So I'm not saying you need to tip them, but just understand that they are not showing that weekend. They are volunteering.
Yeah. I mean, just be nice and say hi and smile and say what a great job they're doing. And that's probably enough. I don't think we need to tip them, but we do have a line item, the final one, for other purchases, Dan.
Yes. So I don't know about you, but there's always surprise expenses that come up. You may find that, oh, I didn't bring a rain jacket and I need to run and go to Target
Yeah.
and find a raincoat. Or, maybe my trousers split or something. And all of a sudden, there are a lot of unexpected expenses, and perhaps those sorts of things go under other purchases. Tamara says a nice iced tea would be good. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. Go out.
But it's a surprisingly high number, isn't it? Other purchases.
It is. It is $68. So that must be a catch-all. What do you all think would be part of that $68 a weekend expense that are things that we haven't already covered? Um, I'm not sure that I can think of too many things that weren't covered. We did talk about leads and dog beds and those sorts of things. A blanket for unexpected cold weather.
Yeah.
Ginger, you're right. A lot of us who are at Montgomery every year, often bring a blanket because we never know when the weather will turn in Pennsylvania in October. It can get
Karen says pantyhose. I swear that the airlines and dog show people keep the pantyhose companies in business.
I didn't know pantyhose were that expensive. I had no idea.
They're not that much, but it's a thing. It's a thing.
Some
All
of those
right.
expenses could be gifts for ourselves. Maybe we don't think of them as gifts. And Jenna says that she sees some beautiful embroidery and screen print items at the vendors. Yes. How often have you been to a show and your favorite vendor isn't there and you're expecting to find something and they're just not there? Those vendors are, mom and pop businesses, a lot of cottage industries, and they depend on our support as we depend on them to be there at the shows for all those gifts items that we need and those last minute items.
So we're just about out of time, Dan. I do want to remind everybody that they can still come and join us. We have quite a fun and active group. We had quite a few people there, and we can take a few more. So if you're interested in coming, the audio video of last night's class challenge, and it's really a challenge because it's challenging to do to really suss out that blueprint for your dog. It's a challenge to overcome your fears, and it's a challenge to pull it all together and create a new system for yourself. But that's what we're going to do. So that's why I call it a challenge. But please, if you're interested in coming, either private message me or you should see the link come up pretty soon on the chat. And I look forward to having you. Everybody that's here, I'd love to have you.
Yes, if you love Ring Ready Live, you're going to love joining Dog Show Mentor, becoming a member. And if you're on the fence, if you're not quite sure if that's something you have time for, we've got the master classes lined up that Lee's been talking about. You're going to love them. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to get enthusiastic. And I hope to see you there as well. During the master classes, we get to see one another as opposed to just commenting in
Right.
the comments section. So that makes it, that's great to put a face to a name
It is.
through Zoom. Lee, I'd also like to thank our producer, Alex, who brings us all together each and every week. Alex, Lee, and I are going to be at Morrison Essex a week from today. We're going to be having Ring Ready live, really live from the show site. At this point, we are not sure of the time because of our schedules. Some of us are showing dogs, and we're sort of in the state of motion at this point. We will be sure to let you know, but our topic is going to be live from Morrison Essex. So we know that you're going to look forward to that. If you can't be there, come join Ring Ready Live next Wednesday, and you will be there. And while I'm thinking of Alex, Alex wants to remind everyone there is a budget website, if you will, an app perhaps. If you go to mint.com, mint.com, you may find a useful tool to help you with your budgeting. So if you've learned nothing today, you've learned that a budget is going to help you win. Who knew? Thank you,
Right.
Lee. Information. That, that's the
and
message.
and one of the and we have to stop soon, but one of the core values of Dog Show Mentor is kindness. And when we first implemented that, people were like, kindness, how is that a core value of Dog Show Mentor? But it's proven fact that when you're kind to other people, that it comes back to you in interesting ways that help you win more in the ring. And I have a whole webinar on why the core values are so important for winning. Who knew?
Yeah, that is worth the investment. No doubt, right there. So again, Lee, thank you as always. I'm going to see you in person next week. Can't wait.
Yay.
Can't wait. And I want to remind anybody who is at Morrison Essex next Wednesday, come find us. Show site will have a booth. You can meet Lee. You can meet myself, Alex, our producer, Megan, your client relations manager, and the show site booth is going to be next door to the AKC and the AKC museum booth. So we hope to see
Yep.
you there. Until
Okay.
then, thank you all for joining us this week. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you all have some takeaways that are going to be helpful to you. And everyone, remember, have fun with your dogs.
And see you in the winner's circle. Bye for
Bye.
now.